Another draft undefeated as Chad Rosa makes his mark. This is the Sash, definitely not the official podcast of the Essendon Football Club. I am your host, Rob, here with you on a Friday morning, dissecting everything that's happened in the draft for this week. Joining me on the couch is Joel. Hello, mate.
We love the Chad.
Yes.
We love the Chad.
Yeah, we do love Chad Rosa. He's good, isn't he?
He feels like the turning point for everything. I know it's very easy to get excited at this time of the year.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to discussing it because I think a lot of good things have happened.
Yeah, I feel like it is the Essendon way that we blame every problem on one person and we also put every solution on one person.
It's the Hurdy complex.
It's the Messiah complex. It is the Messiah complex. And I feel like we've collectively taken that from an on-field player and go, no, they can't fix it. It's the off-field. That's what we've got to fix. But anyway, I'm happy to have some Messiah complex for this time of year because if you asked me a week ago how I felt about footy, I was pretty flat. And I'll tell you what, all it takes is Mick Ablett telling me about how much we've nailed the draft, and I'm back. I am back.
100%
I opened my bank account and my membership's been deposited, and I'm like, you know what? I'm back, baby. I'm back.
So I think I was saying this on the pod last time. So obviously I didn't renew my membership last year. I protested.
Yep.
Then they gave me a free membership for the last 4 rounds.
Great.
Which is great, but it's kind of like, that's a bit of a spit in the face to my protest. Like I said, I didn't want to be a member. And so now I'm getting all the renew your membership emails. And well, I wasn't a member, so I shouldn't be renewing. But I wanted to put a call out because it says in the things like, would you like to do this online or would you like a phone call? It's like, I want a phone call from Andrew Welsh. Yeah. Okay, so then I will sign up again as a member because I want to hear it from his mouth why it's worthwhile. So if anyone knows him or if he watches this,
I'll tag him.
Yeah, that's great.
I'll tag him. He probably won't reply, but we'll tag him. We'll tag him. Joel, are you a draft expert? Because I'm not a draft expert, and this is the week for the draft experts. This is when they really come into their own.
Yep.
They're largely irrelevant for the majority of the season, but they're, if you look at it as a graph from if you look at Jan, Feb, March, and then it starts to pick up, and then we hit October, and they're here, and then November. This is the crescendo for the draft experts.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been relying on them heavily over the last week or two. So I think there's been kind of 2 drafts in the past that I've been really, really into. So the draft where we picked up Perko, Coxie and Zach Reid.
Yep.
I was paying lots of attention then. Yeah, lest we forget. And then when we picked up Sardis, I was really big on Philippou in that year. And I was... time will tell what's going to happen with that decision.
Yeah.
But then this is the other one that I've been really, really invested in because, as you know, I haven't been working, so I've had a lot of time to consume content listen to trade radio initially and then do this. So it's been really, really fun, and I am really stoked with how things have gone. But I've been an expert for about a week.
Yeah, well, it's good that you've used that word because, as you know, I'm a big fan of the AFL cliches. And draft night, it is a night to be stoked. Because I guarantee every single kid I saw interview on Fox Footy was stoked. No one said. I don't think anyone said that they were wrapped. Everyone was stoked. I think everyone was stoked except for Sam Cumming. Is that his name? Sam Cumming? Cumming, who went to the Richmond Tigers, who looked like he had that Instagram crying filter on his face the entire time. He was just like the whole time, and I'm like, is he really upset or is he just overwhelmed with emotion? I can't quite tell.
Yeah.
But I think he was the only one who didn't get drafted that wasn't stoked.
Yeah, I was watching all the interviews and Lockie Doverston didn't seem too thrilled about going to the Roos.
No.
I must say.
Yeah.
I would have been excited to have him as well. He seems like a gun, but he's got some good players in that forward line to play with.
Was it as much of a sad face as Tanner Bruin was when he got drafted to GWS a few years ago?
No,
do you remember that one?
No, it wasn't that. It was. I think it was more just like, what's next? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm waiting for them to cut to someone and then just be audibly going, fuck. That's what I want to see. Let's look at the draft picks, Joel. It was a good night for Essendon.
Great night.
We obviously made some moves. We traded up. We did a deal with Carlton, which netted us an extra pick. Ended up being pick 13 once the wash of all the other picks had happened. And seeing that pick happen and knowing what had happened with all the Zach Merritt stuff, particularly what Hawthorn had offered, in terms of a draft hand, this was a far better move than what we'd been offered by Hawthorn. But let's look at our first pick. We took pick 9, Sullivan, Roby, Eastern Rangers, midfield /forward, 192 centimetres. He was one that everyone online wanted. Don's fan as well, which we love. And lo and behold, Richmond, they took 2 other players and we got him.
Yeah, I think Richmond's draft hand last year really helped us there because they got Smiley and Lawler, which have similar traits to what it seems like Roby has. He's a big unit. He's already dwarfed Heppel when you have like jumper presentation. And I can only imagine he's going to keep growing if he's grown 16 centimetres in the last 18 months or something like that.
17 centimetres in 2 years.
Which is ridiculous.
And so I asked Smart Damo, who is, of course, the resident medical expert here at the Sash, and I said, should we be concerned about someone who's grown so much in a short period of time? Are we going to see, a back stress fracture? Obviously, knowing Essendon, we can't rule anything out. But he said, given he's 192 and he has muscle, that's a positive sign. If he was 200 centimetres, weighed 68 kilos and looked a bit more like a Nick Cox or a Zach Reid, I would be a bit worried. But you look at him, he's a beast of a kid. He's clearly got that size. And it does feel like it's been a little while since we've gone after someone who looks strong, not only tall.
Yeah, I was trying to think who has Essendon had in its recent history that kind of matches his profile. It's really hard to put a finger on.
I guess.
Yeah, potentially the package, but like
Laverty, maybe.
Yeah, but he looks almost bigger than I feel like they did when they first got drafted. He's a really, really fantastic sort of player for the Bombers to get. I think, one thing we've been missing for a while is like that kind of star power. We had Tipper, who was a great star, but he also wasn't a huge personality. He was a very respectful person. But now we've got kind of Caddy, who's a bit lippy. We've got Roby, who I can see him kind of being a bit in your face and all that sort of stuff. Archie Roberts. I'm really, really liking this as an addition. And he is that sort of player that has kind of come from nowhere, but his ceiling could be so high, even with the rise that he's already sort of had, that it's super exciting to get someone like that at the footy club.
He's hot too, which is important.
Got to add that in there.
You've got to add that too.
Is he over the age of 18? Are you allowed to say that?
Well, just check. He's been drafted, so I'm assuming he is. But he's a bit of a rooster. So I can guarantee that someone was sitting there in the Essendon marketing department being like, great.
Yeah.
Great.
Look, I'm really excited. His highlights look great. The fact that he's had such a determined rise. He kind of looked like it was a lot through his own willpower to, really set critics aside to kind of push himself into, a top 10 calculation initially. And as you said, with the Tigers, it could have gone either way with them. And they drafted for needs. So they I'm sure Grill, I think is how you pronounce it, is going to be a great player for them.
Gorilla.
But so happy that he slipped through to us.
Yeah, as am I. And it's an interesting thing you talk about with size, because I vividly remember watching us play Adelaide start of last season when we got smacked, and this is something we've spoken about a lot when we played Geelong, is that you sit there at the MCG and you go, wow, we look small. We really do look small. And I remember watching the Adelaide Crows half back line, and I was just like, God, they were dwarfing our half forwards. Like, Gresham's not particularly big. Nick Martin, whilst he's tall, he's not massive. He's more on the lean side. But Roby looks like someone who's filled out.
Yeah.
And hopefully can fill out some more and will bring a bit of brute to it. And that's just where the game is going, is that, you've got to be fast, but you've got to be big and strong as well. There isn't a lot of room for small guys unless you are absolutely mercurial, incredibly fast, have got something else. You've really got to be big and strong. And it has felt for a while that our previous drafting philosophy didn't really account for that. And I think that's one of the reasons why we've been left behind.
Yeah, I agree. Super, super excited. I imagine that we'll probably see him play footy pretty early, whether he's a round one prospect or not. Obviously, it's hard to say with how the team's looking and where our injury list is at and all that sort of thing, but I think he'll be playing footy next year for sure.
Yeah.
You mentioned Gresham, who's someone who's going to immediately be competing for a spot with. And based on everything I know about Gresham and nothing that I currently know about Roby, Roby's in the team for me.
Poor Gresh. Pick 10, rather. Jacob Farah from West Perth, defender midfielder, type 188 centimetres. Now, there was a bit of hubbub online that we didn't go after Xavier Taylor, which was someone that people were speaking about. And I could see a lot of people online, but when they started speaking about him in the analysis, they brought up something that I can't remember an Essendon draftee being spoken about in a long time, and that was someone who was an elite kick.
Yep.
There's drafts gone by where we've picked up talent and it's like, oh, this guy's athletic, he's marking, he's tough, he's fast, whatever it is. But I was like, who was the last guy we drafted that I can remember them saying his kicking is his strength?
Yep.
Like Zach Merritt's obviously someone who was drafted like that. I can't really remember Zach's draft watching it. But that was something for me. I was like, okay, this has addressed something that I've been banging on about all season,
Absolutely.
is that we lack elite kicks. Now, whether this guy ends up playing half back on the wing, a bit of midfield time, I don't know. But they've clearly gone, this is a guy who's a great user. We lack great users in this team. And watching his highlight reel looks really good. And then reading some of the comments from people who are from West Perth and speaking about him, sounds like we've got a pretty good one. And he's a mate of Cale Gerrans as well, who's on the list currently. Yeah,
that was a very cute photo of him and Cale from juniors that I saw posted. Yeah, I think you were definitely saying it. Your number one priority was like a kind of back flanker that could kick, or a distributor who could. A
surgeon is the term I've been rolling with. The surgeon, and he is hoping that Jacob Farah is going to be the surgeon as opposed to spending time with surgeons.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we have enough of those.
Yes.
Having someone who's a great left foot kick is going to be fantastic. I think having someone who's such a footy head like it seems like he is as well, that's when you're looking for someone who has a ceiling and someone who's going to stay engaged in the game and someone who's not going to, fade in and out, someone who's obsessed with footy, who watches 7 or 8 games of footy a week, whose whole life is kind of footy, that's who you expect to give it 120% at all times.
Is it a red flag that he said he doesn't have a team, he just loves footy?
No.
Or is that the kind of footy autism we need?
Yeah, we definitely need that. For a surgeon?
Yes.
Yeah, that's 100% what you need, that kind of special interest type level.
Yeah. A bit of Matt Rowell energy is what I was getting from that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, so I think I could be completely wrong. I've read so many online comments and when your facts are coming from Instagram comments, they could be wrong. But he migrated to Australia as a young boy, I think, from the UK.
Oh, I didn't know this.
It could be not true.
Could be not true.
And potentially landed and then kind of was not necessarily associated with any team, so just kind of loved the sport itself. So I think that maybe is how that played out.
Interesting. Yeah, I saw a comment on our thread that said that he's a gun, and that was from Big Jacob Farrow. So I really enjoy that trend of where people just make accounts and it's just the player, it's Big so-and-so.
Yeah.
And you just see them commenting on other accounts being like, I'm the best.
Yeah.
Get around me.
Yeah.
But looks really promising.
Agree.
And it sounded like they were very, very happy with that selection. The D's obviously took the next couple of picks. They picked up the guy who would hang out in Rev Smokers by the look of things, and they took Latrell Piggott, who purely for vibes I wanted. I don't know if he's any good or not, but I did want him for the vibes.
Yep.
But we lucked out because we picked up someone who has huge raps on him. I shared a video which featured an interview with Kinnear Beatson, who people might know as the Sydney list manager. And Sydney, as we know, have been very bloody good for a long time, picking up the likes of Errol Goulden with late picks. And Kinnear Beatson was saying how he couldn't understand why this guy was sliding in the draft.
Yep.
He has done very well at Central Districts in the Sandfill. He captained the under-18s for South Australia. They obviously won the under-18s carnival as well. Yep. He looks like a ready-made player. And a lot of people have spoken about him as potentially, this is a 200 gamer right here. Yep. Assuming something crazy doesn't happen. Leader, ready-made, plays in a role that we clearly need, considering the delistings we've made. Dyson Sharp, I think he could potentially be the pick of the bunch.
Yeah, I'm really wrapped with getting him as well. He also seems like he knows how to kick a goal, which not a lot of our midfielders do very consistently.
I don't think many of our players do, to be honest. So,
yeah, the forwards as well, you're right. It's a great comment, read the Sydney list manager, because if you look back at their list for such a long time, one thing they always built was, great. They were known for this Bloods culture and bringing in people who kind of contributed to that. And, that's something Essendon's lacked is leadership and strong high performance culture. So bring in a kid who kind of has all those traits, who might not have the ceiling of a Sullivan Roby, who has a crazy bag of tricks, but is going to deliver every single day and push and drive everyone around them, is really, really great for the club as well.
Yeah, the player comparison that Kinnear Beatson made was he said he's the Luke Parker of the AFL and, of the draft. And you can certainly think about the amount of times that Luke Parker has done the job on us. When he was in his prime, probably not so much in the later years.
Yeah.
But if Dyson Sharp has a career like Luke Parker, I think we're all going to be pretty pretty happy
Yeah,
with that
absolutely.
output. And to showing the value that he held, the Adelaide Crows came to us with an offer.
Heavy.
So they offered their first round pick and a future first for Dyson Sharp, which shows the interest that they would hold for him, getting a very good look at him being in South Australia. Ari, who's on the Sash W pod, put a comment in the Discord, which I thought was really interesting. He said, I just want to point out that that Adelaide offered a first-round pick and their future first for Dyson Sharp. To put that into perspective, the difference between 0-gamer Dyson Sharp and 250-gamer 3-time All-Australian, 6-time best and fairest Zach Merritt is precisely pick 10 and 10-game superstar Henry Huswaite, according to the Hawks.
Yeah.
So you can see that this kid's got pretty big raps on him, that Adelaide were prepared to make a move. Knowing where the Crows are at, those are probably going to be pretty late picks. But yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, I'm pretty wrapped with this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, it was really good draft strategy to sort of let him slide, knowing that he wouldn't be a preference for Melbourne. So I think if we'd have taken Sharp in those first few picks, we probably would have missed out on one of the other two, because I think Melbourne were quite keen on Farah. And obviously if Roby had slipped to that level, they would have taken him, I think, based on talent. So I think really, really good strategy from Essendon in the way that it was played in acquiring that pick to kind of nail 3 players who were, Sharp was at earlier stages this year a potential number 1 selection, but all of them been touted as like top 5, top 6, maybe Farah towards the back end of that, but really, really good draft strategy. And I feel really confident that those guys can have an impact quickly, which is awesome.
Yeah, I do have one gripe though. None of these guys are 200 centimetre plus bean poles or 175 centimetre midfielders. I don't get it.
Yeah.
What is this drafting like big body players in the right size? I don't get this.
Yeah. Players who aren't project players that can actually contribute to our list.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't get it.
No.
I don't get it whatsoever. Now, pick 25, Adam Suede. I always get that wrong. He was picked up by the Fremantle Football Club. I'm actually honouring him today because I'm actually wearing a Fremantle T-shirt, which is a long story. But anyway, so they nominated, also they bid on Suede, and then we chose not to match that. I believe it would have put us into a deficit with our points, which would have meant we'd have had to do a few things. Interesting one. I saw a few people talking about it, and again, Ari made a good point. Is that he is a midfielder, but he's the size of a forward, a small forward. And ideally, you'd hope that you could get a bit of sort of hybrid sort of stuff out of him. But here we've gone and we've selected 3 genuine midfielders, a mid forward, a defensive mid, and a pure mid, who just look a lot better. And was Suede worth 25 to us? Clearly not.
Yeah, I think that's just it's obviously it's not unfortunate to him. He gets to have an AFL career. I'm sure he would have loved to play with Kako and Achka, as we'll speak about as well. But I think if we've already selected 3 midfielders, particularly 2 who are like goal-kicking midfielders, then it doesn't make sense to have a third. And it's just a virtue of it's just what happened based on how the picks kind of played out. I think if we had have selected different people, or if we weren't able to get Roby or we weren't able to get Sharp, then he would have been much more of a chance of us having matched that bid.
Yeah, exactly. I think if he'd slid further, we might have seen a different scenario where they go, okay, he's available, let's get him. But, we obviously didn't rate him as highly as Fremantle did. And yeah, knowing our luck, he'll win the Brownlow at Freo next season. So good luck. Pick 36, Essendon selected Max Kondo Giannis, 191 centimetre defender from Oakley Chargers. The Greek freak we've selected. I can't tell you much about him, but seems like a defender.
Yeah. He's I didn't know a lot about him before we picked him up, so I've looked into him since. Apparently also a pretty good user of the football, a Jordan Ridley type player if we're going to pick someone out of Essendon, that sort of second, third tall who's maybe more of an interceptor as opposed to a one-on-one defender, but a good distributor. And I think he had a really, he tested really, really highly for the 20-metre sprint. So I think his kind of pace off the mark, when he gets the ball, runs and then makes a decision to kick, is really, really strong. So he seems more of a long-term investment. He's someone who might not play next year, particularly if, the rest of our defenders are fit, which is a big if.
So he's playing round 1. So he's playing round 1.
Yeah, he's going to captain.
Yeah. He's the new captain.
But, I think exciting player hypothetically if he can continue to develop.
Yep. Pick 53, Essendon matched the bid for Hussein Achka, 171 centimetre small forward from the Cola Cannons and the Essendon Academy.
Woo!
Great story, seeing him there celebrating. Obviously, Kako was there getting around him. We got him home, boys. We got him home.
That was awesome. I think most Essendon fans would probably know a fair bit about him now, but someone who can hopefully join Kako in the forward line and kick a few snags. He seems to have a great goal sense. Probably has some things to work on. I think he has a relatively low possession count, and I think sometimes he's kicked more behinds than he's kicked goals. But
he'll fit right in.
Yeah, I think he looks like he's probably going to be an upgrade on the the Texas and the Menzies and stuff that we probably had.
Well, I don't know, mate. I don't know how you can upgrade on Tex Wangadane. Come on, let's be real. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Stalwart of St Kilda VFL now.
Absolute stalwart. So it's an awesome story when you see something like that happen. I'm glad he's got friends, obviously, in the club already. I think another gap kind of we have is goal kicking forwards. So.
Yeah. No, vibes are good. All right, I'll throw this one to you. Of the 5 names mentioned, who will play first?
I think Dyson Sharp will play first. Yeah,
so do I.
Yep.
That was my prediction. All right, what about second?
Probably Roby.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if he'll start round 1, but I don't think it would be long before he gets in. I feel like he'll be one of those guys who'll get 40 touches in his first VFL game, and you'll be like, all right, come on,
get him in. Yep. No, I like that. An interesting one. I didn't actually realise this until the time of the draft because I had really just kind of not paid much attention to it. But so Cooper Duff Tyler could have been Essendon NGA selection. So as revealed by the Age, the Bombers would have been eligible to snare Victorian ruckman Cooper Duff Tyler, rated as arguably the best prospect in this year's draft, into the NGA, all because his grandparents emigrated from Sri Lanka in Australia nearly 50 years ago. But because Duff Tyler's father was born in Australia 2 years after they left Sri Lanka, he was not eligible for Essendon's NGA Academy. So, look, if that was the case that we were picking him up, we probably wouldn't have ended with those other 3 guys as well. Yep. But nearly could have walked out with the best big man in the draft.
That would have been another great addition, obviously. I think Ruckman, look, he could be a superstar, but we've seen teams win plenty of premierships without great ruckmans. So
correct.
As much as he could have been, I'm not as disappointed by that as if it might have been someone else.
Yeah, and let's be real. Like, is there anyone who's going to take Blackerson's spot? I don't think there is.
No, there isn't.
I think he starts in every team in the comp, to be honest.
I reckon they're going to sell out more badges than they've ever sold.
I know.
Of Blackerson.
It's on my agenda, actually. I'm gonna email the club after this and just go, hey guys, I've just paid my membership.
Yeah.
Where's the badge?
I mention it when Welshie calls me. I'll say,
where's the badge?
Badge or no membership.
Badge or no membership.
I'm excited about. Just to go back to Achka, I'm excited to have someone on the list that we can do the who's to. We haven't had that player that it sounds like you're booing, but you're not actually booing.
Yeah, that's good.
For a long time, and I love doing that, so that's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Anyone else in the draft? I mean, I think so. I think we've got... Do we have a rookie spot?
We've got one spot left on the list.
Okay.
And it can be used in a few different ways. Obviously, Setterfield.
So that's time of recording. We're recording Friday morning. So that's going to occur exactly during the lunch break of the Ashes today. The AFL very carefully selected the time because, let's be frank, from 1:30 today, Melbourne time, we will have our cricket eyes and hats on. So... Question to you, Joel, if you know, one, is there someone you'd like? If not someone, what would you like? What's the kind of play you'd be looking for?
I really like Will Setterfield. I think he's actually added a lot more to our team. I kind of feel like he gets cast aside a little bit too quickly sometimes, but the injuries is obviously potentially the concern there. I think for me, if there was a ruckman out there that had been playing in the waffle or the VFL or whatever it might be that could potentially help fill a spot for us, I would maybe still go for that. Even though they're talking about Blackerston kind of being that guy, I'm just not sure with Nick Bryan still injured.
Goldie retiring. We should speak about.
Goldie retiring. Vigo where he is. I feel like we probably need some more support there still, but I don't know. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I if there was the right person, I wouldn't say no to a ruckman. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to know. I really like Will Setterfield, but I think unfortunately, that the injury gods have said no more.
Yeah.
Because I think that foot injury is going to keep him out till mid-season, which, like, unless someone's on a multi-year deal, like, or they're a superstar, which he's not, you're probably not going to keep someone around.
Yeah.
And I think his body's just not holding up.
Yep.
He plays in a very grueling position as an inside mid, and considering the players that we've just brought in the draft, we're clearly moving forward with other options in the midfield. Him going, Hobbs going.
Do you think anyone will pick Hobbs up as an aside?
Well, I was going to ask you that. You're a big Hobbs man. For the Sash faithful in our message chat that we have about the Sash, which is called the Sash, because we're funny. We're really funny people. Yeah. Joel's name is Joel Hobbs. So, Joel, my question to you is, what are you going to change your name to in the Sash group chat moving forward?
Look, it's probably a little bit on the nose to jump straight on Roby, I'd say. You know, it's a bit unfair. I've also been a big Archie Roberts fan for a long time, but I think everyone else probably picked up on that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I can't take Blackiston because obviously that'd be a dagger through your heart.
I'll fight you. I'll bash you if you take Blackiston.
I might go Kako, I reckon.
Okay, Joel Kako. Well, the thing is, I'm Kako in the Discord, so...
yes, you are.
I'm Kako in the Discord. For people wondering, the only other person who has... There's two other people with nicknames. Everyone else has their regular names. Damo is just Smart Damo, which has been shortened to SD, and Merritt is Josh Green. That's it. Everyone else just has their regular names.
Josh Green and Joel Hobbs. I don't know how we're going to
Josh Green and Joel Hobbs. Two icons of the Essendon Football Club. Look, you've got until round 1 next year to sort that out. So you've got the summer to think about it. Let's quickly just pay tribute to old Gold. He officially hung up the boots as no club was interested in a 57-year-old ruckman. Obviously, a North Melbourne legend, but it's been really good having him at the club, and I'm really happy to see that he is staying on as the ruck coach. No longer the playing ruck coach, but he's going to be in there working with Nick Bryan, working with Blackiston, working with Vigo. And if there's one thing Todd Goldstein can teach you, and I've said this before on the show, it's about having longevity in your career.
Yeah.
Because the ruck position, I would say probably alongside the inside mid, is the most grueling and taxing of positions. And you've got to be an elite preparer, elite mindset, very strict in how you live your life to get the max out of you. And if you want to have a career as long as Todd Goldstein, maybe ask the man himself how to do it. Yeah,
it's a good point. Merritt had a post kind of referencing that he'd learnt so much from him just from a preparation perspective as well.
I think he also said to calm him down.
Yeah. Great captain material. That's a whole other conversation. He's obviously a champion of the game. I think the record holder for hit-outs.
He's up there. The old Gold.
There.
Signed by the great man.
And performed a really important function for us.
Yeah.
Thanks, Goldie. And as I said, also keen to have you around for the next little bit too.
Yep. Another interesting thing from the draft as well, with pick 59, the Greater Western Sydney Giants, they picked up this young rookie by the name of Jake Stringer. Could be anything, I'm told. Could be anything.
It was a real spit in the face. I thought that they reposted his draft photo and said, pick 59 Jake Stringer, made a gag out of him. I don't think Jake Stringer thinks it's a gag.
The comments were pretty funny. So I think Lockie Hunter commented and said, no skin folds test for rookies, which I rate.
That's great.
I rate that.
And I think, actually, I've got the list of everything we've done since Matt Rose's joined, so we could go through that now if you want.
Let's do that, because we're going to. There's a couple of little other things that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about a certain Instagram post that happened recently.
Yeah,
but let's do that before we put draft conversations to bed.
Okay, cool. So I just wanted to have a look at his performance since he joined the club. So he arrived in September 2023.
Yep.
So obviously what happened in 2023 and in that draft, he wouldn't have had a significant influence over. Yep. But let's just say for 2023, the good stuff, we'll say it was his influence, and the bad stuff, it was other people's influence.
Let's write the narrative how we want.
Exactly right. So the 2023 draft, we picked up Nate Caddy with pick 10.
Great.
That was after we traded out 11 and 31 to move up to get him because other people were interested.
Yep.
We picked up Lowell with pick 39.
Yep, no.
Archie Roberts with pick 54.
Good.
And Vigo with pick 8 of the rookie draft.
Yeah, time will tell.
Yep. So Caddy's obviously a win so far. Archie Roberts at 54 is a win so far. And Vigo at pick 8 of the rookie draft. Like,
We'll see.
we'll see.
Yep.
Got rid of...
Two ticks, one cross, and a dash.
Yeah, and cleared out Alistair Lord, Sean McBride, Massimo D'Ambrosio, Patrick Voss, Brandon Zerk-Thatcher.
Yeah.
And then there's other names, Andrew Phillips, James Stewart, but they were all already on there. And we brought in Dersmer and Ben Mackay that year. Yeah,
Okay.
which, again, he wouldn't have had a lot of influence over. The draft is maybe somewhere where he probably would have had a little bit more of like a... Because he would have already been involved in like looking at...
Yeah, because he was at... I forget which Perth club. Subi,
I
Was
think.
it Subi? Was it Subi?
But yeah, so he would have already had some influence in that area.
Yeah.
The Mackay and Dersmer stuff would have been happening behind the scenes probably well before he arrived.
Peel Thunder, sorry.
Peel, yeah, okay.
Which is part of Freo.
Yep. So 2024, so when he's starting to take a little bit more control, Saldale Hawley with pick 13 in the mid-season pick.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we did the Kako trade, which is kind of the workings that really started to see he actually had draft strategy as opposed to the old, like, Essendon's not going to deal with anyone and we're just going to pick fucking players out of nowhere.
Speaking of Sardell Hall really quick, did you see, I think it was for that first draft night, so Sardell Hawley had like the boys round to like their family place and they did that, like the grill, the meat on the skewers.
No.
Oh, it looks so good.
That stuff is delicious.
I know.
Yeah.
Can they sell that at the G?
Yeah, 100%. Get more of that in.
Yeah, it looked so good. I was very jealous watching that.
So the trade for Kako, we sent out pick 9 and a 2025 third round pick.
Yep.
We got back 28, 40, 46, 54, 65, and then Melbourne's first round pick, which ended up being pick 5.
Pick 5.
Or pick 6. One of the two that we
I'm going to miss the death ride. I'm like...
That was fun.
It really kept me going for like through those dark months, through like July and August where you're like, the season's fucked, nothing to play for. But then watching Melbourne lose every week, I was like, this is keeping me going. And we haven't got that now. I mean, do we have someone's draft?
We might own some future seconds. I'm not sure.
Let's see.
We also traded out Stringer for pick 53.
Okay, let's have a look. Draft. Okay. Do we have anyone's? I don't think we do at this point in time.
Just us.
We don't, with round 1s, round 2s. We gave Adelaide our third rounder.
It doesn't matter because we're getting Zach Bailey and Zach Butters, so drafting's not important next year.
Yeah.
They'll clearly want to come after Merritt repledges his commitment to the club because we've significantly turned a corner.
Now, and now that Andrew Welsh is going to be offering, he's going to be offering, huge blocks of property in the northwestern parts of Melbourne. How could you say no? So
that year we matched Kako at 13, Gerine at pick 37, Angus Clark at pick 39, which
pick.
Feels like it's going to be a win.
Really good pick.
Unwin at pick 61,
Yeah.
Zach Johnson at pick 70. Good pick. So
actually, no, Unwin had some moments, but yeah.
Yeah, Unwin looks flash, but he still has a lot of development.
Lot to go.
And then got rid of 2024 Baldwin, Hind, Jaden Hunter, Tex Wanganeen, Sam Wiedemann, Jaden Davies. So now he's having a little bit more influence on the outgoings.
I completely forgot about Jaden Hunter. Yeah.
And then obviously that dealing from last year helped us with our draft haul this year as well. So, getting picks 5, 6, and 9 with the deals that we've spoken about earlier and the draft haul that we've just had, I think is really, really shows that he's kind of a really strategic thinker. He's not afraid, and the rest of the list management team and the football ops team.
It seems like a more modern approach.
Not afraid to back our word, not panicking, not like, using rivalries to push things around. Like the Hawthorn stuff, it legitimately wasn't a great deal for Zach Merritt, and they would have listened to it if it was. So I really feel like he's just sensible, and it's exciting to see, and it kind of feels like I've got trust in our list management a little bit now,
Interesting. Speaking of Zach Merritt, Zach has returned to the Essendon Football Club, which is, I'm sure, Eddie Maguire Jr. and all those chaps were lapping that up. But Zach made an Instagram post and he shared some photos of him returning to the club, which was great. Good to see him training there. But it was the caption that caught my eye, Joel. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how strong the man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. Which I had to translate this. I first put it through Urban Dictionary, and the translation was "get fucked, everyone." But then I put it through Microsoft Copilot, and it said it's basically saying effort and courage count more than criticism. But I thought it was interesting.
It is interesting. Look,
as a critic who doesn't do anything, I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah,
but it's good to see back.
I think you were critical of the club clearly, Zach, and you were the one who pulled all the barbs and called all the shots to make this happen. So it's a bit of a weird thing to be saying, but we are welcoming him back with open arms. And I'm going with the Welsh mindset of everyone's an Essendon person now. We're all pulling on the same page. So that's Zach, and he's part of the team again, and we love it. Yeah,
I had a chat to an ex-AFL player recently, not an Essendon one, but an ex-AFL player recently, and I asked him, what do you think about the whole Zach Merritt thing? I said, I'll be honest, from my experience playing AFL football, when stuff like this would happen in the trade season, once you get to first day of pre-season, everyone's there, no one fucking talks about it. He said everyone's just there to work and to train. Everyone wants to win and do better. He said there might be some people having their own private discussions, but he said once you're there, like no one's talking about what happened in October. Everyone's just there to do the job. So whilst we were obviously in hysteria, the media was in hysteria, and all this other stuff was going on, he said he said honestly, the playing group they're like, hey mate, good to see ya.
Yep.
Let's go kick a share and try and win some footy games.
Yeah.
Like most people aren't thinking about it.
And
he said, and particularly today when this sort of stuff is so common for players to be moving from club to club, he said there might be a few players who, might not want to be captain, but he's like, honestly, I think everyone's just going to be getting on with it.
Yeah, I think so. And what do you gain out of not wanting to welcome him back with open arms? He's our best player. There's a hypothetical.
I'm not going to kick it to you anymore, Zach.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, by not trying to kick it to him, they will kick it to him because no one can kick straight.
Yeah.
So by trying to hit someone else, it's going to land on Zach's chest.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, I think we'll see what happens next year, but there's also still the chance of the proposition that Welsh should be putting forward, along with everyone else, would be we're going to prove to you that we're worth hanging around for, in the next little bit, and we'll see. And
that's it. I think it's going to be a big crunch year, obviously, for him, but I also think it's a big year for Brad Scott. He's essentially had two absolute free hit seasons. This season gone with the injuries in his first season, and then season 2 there was a bit of stuff going on, but I really think that this is a season where the club really has to take a step forward in terms of ladder position results. Yep. Now we can play finals from 10th, which helps. And if we don't see us hitting that point or very close to, I can't see a world where both Brad and Zach are there the following year. One of them maybe, but yeah, we need to be getting up there.
Yep.
We can be in the mix for finals or at a minimum wild cards, I think.
Yeah, I've given Brad Scott a lot of grace over the last few years for the reasons that you mentioned. And the fact that we did play some pretty good footy over periods over those few years. So with injuries and with everything stable, I think we should be able to string more together. But I would definitely agree that this is now a year where he's on trial, and it's let's show us what you got. But if it's the same old shit, then we need different direction. Yeah,
exactly. But lots of change at the club, lots of new people in various roles, plenty new players, new strength and conditioning, lots of things are constantly changing, hopefully for the better.
Yep.
One thing though that continues to plague us is injuries, and Nick Martin re-injured his knee. He slipped over.
Is that gonna be audible?
Yeah. For the listeners, Joel is headbutting the microphone. He was always going to be coming back late in the season, considering he did an ACL in, I want to say, was it round 17?
Yeah, it was late. It was
when we played. It was when we played that shocking game against Richmond, the worst game ever.
It was kind of a slip that first did it to him as well, because he got kind of pushed and slipped into the.
Yeah. Yeah, Nick, I think you need longer stops. It's very, very disappointing. He is a person that I believe when everyone's up and about could be the difference between us, winning games and not. I think he's that good of a player. And if we're not going to have him for most of the season, then it might make these goals hard, but we can't be blaming the absence of one player on the season. If we have a good run and that's the player we're missing for the whole year, great. But it's everyone else that we need to be seeing. We need to see Parrish play. We need to see Langford play. We need to see Redmond play. We need to see Mackay have a good season. Ideally, Zach Reid have a good season. Jordan Ridley have a good season. All these guys that we know can play good football, but we need a group of them playing it regularly.
Yeah.
And that is the issue. And then it is also about bringing in these new players that are helping us rebuild in the right areas.
Yep.
But also getting the best out of the players that we've got right now.
Yeah, and that's where I think the improvement really comes. I agree. Like, it's fair for all opposition teams to just think we're the most shit team of all time. I think that's understandable. But when you do have our lens and you realise how many of our good footy players have been out really consistently over the last few years, and in particular last year, getting them all in the park and playing consistently and playing together, that will have a really big impact on our results.
Exactly.
And I am excited for the prospect of that. I don't have necessarily a heap of faith that it's going to happen immediately. Like now that they have been injured lots, even with an amazing high performance team, how much can they rectify the damage that's already been done? But I hope that is the case.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just those little differences. Like it's the difference between a debutant ruckman in in Lockie Blackstone playing on Shannon Neal versus Ben Mackay playing on him. And, that's the difference between Shannon Neal kicking 6 goals or 5. So, and that's a valuable goal.
Yeah.
That's a valuable
goal. And he only
goal.
kicked 5 on Blackstone.
Yeah, exactly. We quickly before we wrap up, may as well talk about the fixture because it is out. And it looks like a lot of our other fixtures, which is basically we play Hawthorn, we play one of the Adelaide clubs, we play some junk Melbourne teams, we beat the D's at Gather Round, which I'm looking. We're playing the D's twice.
Gather Round and in Melbourne, which is good. Yeah,
first time since 2005. Yeah, so I think that'll be 1 win each. We'll win and Gather Round. They'll beat us to the Chi because that seems to be what happens. Lost to the Gold Coast, Anzac Day, hopefully a win. Probably lost to Brisbane. Probably lost to the Giants. Hopefully beat Freo at the G. That's
Freo are good though.
Freo are good. 1:10 Sunday. Freo at the G. That's going to be a nice day. Richmond, Friday night Dreamtime. That'll be interesting. Another one of those. Then we've got our usual trip to West Coast, which will be a crappy game and probably a narrow win or loss. Carlton on a Sunday night. The D's again. And then it's just junk to the rest of the season. Round 1 should be good, Joel. Friday night against the Hawks.
Yeah, I've already told a lot of our non-Essendon Hawthorn friends that I'm going to probably need them to come with us for protection, because
you're going to lose it.
If there's ever this is a joke. Fighting at the footy's disgusting. It shouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But
fight on the field, not off the field.
Yeah, but tensions will be high, and it will be really, really fun. It's going to be an awesome game.
Yeah,
and I think both teams will come at it in good spirits. Like. In terms of the fan group, we'll be giving them shit. They'll be giving us shit. We'll be talking about getting Weddle. They'll be talking about... It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But on the field, I reckon it will be pretty brutal.
It'd be great to roll them in round 1.
What a great way to start
like a fizzer game, like a wet night, just absolute fizzer result, and we roll them. That'd be delicious.
That'd be so good.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the cowards way out, and I'm going to go sit with my uncle and the 50-year members with all the snoozers and dribblers. So
that's probably a safer option.
Yeah.
Than what I'm going to do.
Like I don't I mean, I'm sure your wife would disagree, but I don't consider myself a loud person at the football unless I snap, which I did that one time with Maggie. But when you sit
not at Maggie,
not
just
at Maggie,
when she was there,
it was at Andrew McGrath. Maggie was sitting next to me, and she was shocked at what I did because she was just like, "Oh my god, you're really upset." I'm like, I can't watch this any longer. I need to go to the bar.
Yeah.
Anyway, the 50-year members make you feel really loud because it's a lot of who's that fella in number 22? Oh, yeah. Okay. And then you're like, go Ridley. And they're all looking at me like, can you be quiet, please? I have a thermos to drink out of. But anyway.
Yeah. No, it's going to be fun. Everyone get down. Say hi if you see us. It's going to be great energy that day.
Yeah. Faithful, that is going to wrap us up for morning, although it's technically afternoon by the time that we've now finished this podcast. Have a very, very good summer. Look after yourself. Stay safe. There will be a Sash W draft pod in a few weeks whenever the ladies draft is on, and then we'll be back in the new year once pre-season gets a rolling and doing a bit more content. Hopefully maybe do some stuff with the club over summer, which might be fun. And then lastly, if you're a cricket fan, I am producing a new cricket podcast.
Oh, hell yeah.
Which is a bit of fun. I'm producing the Fast Bowling Cartel featuring Damien Fleming, Jason Gillespie, and Glenn McGrath. So,
hit.
Glenn McGrath is my new best friend. We talk every week on the phone now.
But he seems like a lovely guy.
He's a legend.
A good person to have.
He's
as
an
a friend.
absolute legend. So if you like your cricket, check out the Fast Bowling Cartel every week during the cricket season. By the time this is out, the Ashes are going to be in full swing. But go check it out. That's something I'm working on, and we'll be doing so over the summer until footy comes back.
Yeah, nice.
You got anything to plug?
Well, yeah, I'm going to be starting a business.
Hey! If anyone needs a job,
from
call
January,
Joel.
I'm a working recruiter, HR and payroll. So, hit the Sash page up if you work in those spaces or need people in those spaces.
There you go.
It's going to be lots of fun. Yeah. I don't have a name agreed just yet, so maybe I'll plug it again.
Can you do
next year.
Can we Essendon up the name?
So I thought about
Blackiston
this,
Corp.
but I truly thought about making it a Don's name, and I was like, I've got so many things that are Don's in my life. I feel like I need to leave this out of it because I'm going to isolate myself from a significant proportion of the professional community by being too proudly Don's.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I feel like there are a lot of people who are like, oh.
Although Paul Little might hit me up to be his exclusive partner.
Hey.
And some of those guys have plenty of cash.
Hey,
So
hit up Andrew Welsh.
yeah, that's true. Well, our phone call is going to contain a bit of back and forth.
Yeah, it's going to take a bit of business. Thanks, everyone. Look after yourselves. Have a great summer. Go Dons.
Go Dons.